What's up, viewers? How are you doing? I hope you're as excited for this game as I am. And it really has been even a really awesome best of three so far. And hopefully game number 3 is going to live up to the expectations of its predecessors. But either way, we're going to have, once again, Fnatic on the purple side and Moscow 5, the feisty Russians, on the blue. Early team fights are definitely potential possibilities for both lineups here. But are we going to see that executed? Are we going to see some early kills on the scorecard? Karthus is dangerously close there to Jax, but he's going to pull himself back, so Peke doesn't make any mistakes right now. Nunu is behind Jax as well, putting a blood boil on him. I think that's just preemptive, just in case they were going to be in battle. Lee Sin coming in confrontation with Soraka, but it just seems like kind of poking and prodding one another. No one really wants to fully commit to anything right now. Warwick is all by himself at top lane, so Shushay is not going to play any part of this. 3-4 players for Fnatic are around that blue. And on the flip side, Moscow 5. This is an exact carbon copy of the first game that we saw, ladies and gents. Moscow 5 are going to wait till that blue spawns, they're going to push up towards blue, and they're going to try and steal it. That's if they're going to go for that tactic that we saw utilised in game 1. They are lining up for it. It's definitely on the cards. It's definitely a possibility here. I'm curious as to what Jax is doing. Okay, Darren is now going to start to push up towards top lane. He was kind of just chilling out with his inhib. It's like, okay then, fair enough. Yeah, we are going to see this once again. Blue has spawned. Here comes Moscow 5. Are they going to be able to steal this one? Morgana lands the Dark Binding first off. Q misses from Lee Sin. And they've stopped this blue once again. This is an exact repeat. I bet if you watch game number 1, you watch game number 2, Peke's even doing the same thing. He's trying to steal it from the same position. This is crazy. Have I gone back in time? Is this Groundhog Day? And the same result is going to come off as well, where Moscow 5 and Lee Sin pick up the blue. So, beautiful play. Morgana has been exhausted. Maybe they can write a different chapter in this beginning, as Morgana could very well be going down. Not Lee Sin, sorry. Karthus picks up the first kill. I was going to say Lee Sin could have jumped in to help her, but he's a bit preoccupied on the Wraiths. And that is going to be first kill going to Fnatic. More importantly, going to Peke in that mid. Really awesome stuff. Of course, last game we saw Fnatic pick up the first blood. They did go on to win it. And it was Karthus who got it. Definitely one thing to keep in mind. Jax and Nocturne could be coming head to head. Cyanide has got aggro from the red buff. He does have the Shroud of Darkness on, which is going to block that counter-strike, but Jax is still in hot pursuit here. Shushay hasn't moved an inch. He realises that Nocturne should be just fine, pulling back to his tower, but Jax has done a nice job of just harassing that jungler, stopping that red from being picked up for a little while longer. So, stopping Paranoia for a little bit longer as well, stopping that level 6. Now Jax could be in kind of trouble, but Lee Sin is on his way up. Counter Strike has landed. Jushay's in all kinds of trouble here. The Sonic Wave and Resonating Strike have been both fired off from Lee Sin, but Shushay pulls back. Here's Nocturne in the meantime. Karthus getting tagged up from Darian. Lots of poking, lots of prodding, but that's all it is right now. Having said that, Karthus is landing a few layaways consecutively. Nice ignite on him as well, but Dark Binding did miss from Morgana, so Karthus would definitely have been dead and buried had that have landed, but not to be the case. So Peke is just going to stay in mid, while Lee Sin tries to pick up those Wraiths. So unfortunate there for Moscow 5. If that had landed, it was definitely a dead Karthus, no doubts about that. Ignite was ticking down on him. If the Dark Binding landed with the Tormented Soil, you had Jax, you had Lee Sin. Definite kill on the cards. But that's not to be the case. And Nocturne's going to come back down towards that red buff. Going to finally pick that one up. 4 minutes 40 on the clock or thereabouts. So this is going to be quite painful for him. Both junglers level 2 right now because Lee Sin has been so occupied in the opposition jungle, as you'd expect Diamond Procs to be. Going to have some more confrontation between these two. Darian and Shushay at top. Darian does have the level advantage and the HP advantage as well over his counterpart. And Shushay is going to have to chug through his last remaining health pot to keep himself afloat in this lane. He doesn't want to recall again. He's already a level behind. And top is definitely a snowbally kind of lane, and that's kind of reflected in the fact that here comes Nocturne. They're going to try and set up this gank. They realise that Darian doesn't have too much mana left. He's popped the counter-strike. Now going to see Nocturne making a move. Can Darian escape this onslaught? Duskbringer comes out. Can we see Unspeakable Horror getting triggered off here? But Darian just seems way too quick for both Warwick and Nocturne, and he will manage to pull himself back. And due to Nocturne having that creep aggro, he did have vision as well, so Darian will be pushing back in again. Both players level at the same time, so Darian is exactly one level ahead of Warwick. That's not too good from the perspective of Warwick, because as soon as Darian hits that level 6, the Grandmaster's Might is going to be doing a lot of damage onto that Warwick. So let's have a quick look at the bot lane. Haven't really given them too much love because not too much has happened down there thus far. We're going to have Ashe on 39, Kog'Maw on 31, so Genji doing a nice job so far. How is mid looking? Of course, Karthus did pick up first blood. He has 34 creep score credited to his name. Morgana on 37. But of course, Peke will be ahead in that confrontation. Very, very tense. Both teams don't want to make mistakes. Genji's going to have that, the fact that he was caught out last game in the back of his mind, I'm sure. Because from there on in, the flow of that game was definitely in Fnatic's hands. That was a big, big mistake that he made. And he's not going to want to do that again. Either way, let's carry on with the game here, as Warwick and Jax again are going to bump heads. Just looks like Darren is so aggressive. He could afford to be with Counter-Strike though. He's now leveled up to 6. Morgana is laying and waiting behind those trees, and if she can land the Dark Binding, I'm pretty sure Warwick is going to be going down here. He doesn't have his infinite duress, he has no stuns right now. The Black Shield has been popped, and the ultimate as well from Morgana. This should be a kill onto Warwick. Indeed it will. Shushi no health, but here comes a Requiem from Karthus. It's going to be a 1-for-1 exchange, and Jax on low health. Here comes Unspeakable Horror from Nocturne with the red buff. A nice flash though from Darian, making sure that Fear didn't proc. Now he will be able to escape. But Morgana very aggressively underneath the tower, and Peke will be like, thank you very much for that free kill. 2 for 0. 49 creep score. Is going to recall. How much gold does he have? He's got 2,200 or thereabouts, so Catalyst the Protector is his. What else is he going to buy on top of that? The Mercury Treads. Very strong right now in mid is Peke. He's not going to be taking a lot of damage. He's going to be very, very tanky as well. And a real thorn as soon as he gets that Requiem off cooldown. The gold difference, pretty much nothing in it. As you can see, 100 gold, make that 200. Very similar to that second game. Nunu on low HP is going to be pulling back through his tower. Here comes Lee Sin though. He's not going to get too much support from Ashe or Nunu. Both of them on fairly low health and mana as well. So Lee Sin really just trying to knuckle down and put some pressure on Melisande and Lamia, but didn't really do too much in the end. Nunu is going to recall. Kog'Maw popping off his W, landing a couple hits onto Ashe. Enough pressure applied to Ashe to make her recall. She's also level 6 and has a fair amount of gold at her disposal, nearly 2k, so what's she going to be building up? The answer is 2 Doran's Blades. And the Chalice of Harmony. Interesting stuff there. So she's definitely opting to stay in that lane for as long as she can. Obviously the Chalice of Harmony increases your mana regen by 1% per 1% mana you're missing. So it's going to allow her to stay in lane much longer. She did fire an arrow right up the mid there that missed everybody. Didn't hit Karthus. I'm not sure if they knew that Nocturne was on the way as well. But that arrow is going to just fly all the way through towards the spawn of Fnatic. But nice try from Ashe. You can see what she was trying to do, setting up the gank there from spawn. So, how is Morgana retaliated for this Catalyst and Mercury Treads? Well, she's picked up the Sorcerer's Shoes and a Doran's Ring on top of that, so she's not necessarily too far behind. 65 creep score to 74. She does have a kill to her name. Karthus has 2, of course. Looking for that third onto Lee Sin. I doubt he's going to pick up a kill here, but he's going to try and harass as much as possible. Maybe he could have actually got that kill. He's landed every single lay waste. And Lee Sin dropping to about a third to a quarter of his health remaining. Here comes Nocturne's ultimate onto top lane of Jax. This could be a kill. Beautiful play from Nocturne, and that's definitely going to be a dead Darian. So aggressive onto Shushay. But this, in a nutshell, is the strength of a Nocturne. He doesn't need to be close to get those ganks off. And so right there, just how effective he can be. So Shushay having a much better time of it this time around than he did last time in that laning phase. Nocturne, once the deed is done, he is going to pull himself back and pick up the red. He doesn't want to stay around too long, doesn't want to push that lane for Shushay, wants them to come back to a relatively even lane. Peke is going to go back as well, picks himself up a blasting wand, has 70 gold in the bank. Of course, he needs 850 to finish off that Rod of Ages. Morgana, in the meantime, goes back to spawn and picks up an additional 2 Doran's rings, so she now has 3. Nice amount of HP put to her name, and a fair amount of ability power, and of course the mana regen as well on top of that. Lots of Doran's blades on the battlefield as well. Jax has picked up 3, has an all magic mantle and the boots of speed. Ash has 2. Kog'Maw has 2, and the Berserker's Greaves. He's going to get taken down here though. He has used Cleanse. Lamia taking Cleanse every single game so far. It's saved his life so many times. And that arrow was definitely going to be killing Lamia if he didn't cleanse out. Definitely would have resulted in his death. So really smart play from Lamia. He realises that he's got a Soraka alongside him, so he doesn't really need heal. So he is going to pick up the cleanse, and it's going to be so useful. Well, there's so much CC on the opposite team. You got Jax's Counter-Strike, Morgana's Dark Binding and Soul Shackles, Nunu's Slow, Genja's Ultimate, of course, and they're actually going to be going on to Karthus now. Counter-Strike has been used, and a couple of auto attacks as well will bring him almost to his knees. He has so low mana that he is going to be recalling. He's only got 465 gold. I think he really wants to wait until he can afford that Rod of Ages. But he is going to recall regardless. And this is going to allow Moscow 5 to potentially pick up this dragon. There are 2 wards down though from Fnatic. So Karthus has cancelled that recall. In fact, there was 1 ward, beg my pardon, and there was 1 pink ward as well from Moscow 5. So they're going to take that ward down and the dragon as well. But Fnatic knew what was happening. They didn't really react to it. I mean, they had 2 players back at spawn. Karthus had no mana. Warwick still at top. So you can't really fault them for not moving. And they didn't want to give away any needless deaths on top of course, the global gold that comes hand in hand with that dragon kill. And even with dragon being taken, the gold difference is absolutely nothing again. So you have to say it's worth just giving away dragon if you feel like you're going to lose too many players, especially when you know that you're slightly ahead. Now find themselves about 200 gold behind. Not going to be too bothered about that though. Let's have a look at some more of the items that have been built up. In fact, hold that thought for a second. Nunu was around Nocturne, but he is going to pull himself back. So let's have a quick look. You're going to have Madrid's Razors on Lee Sin. Wit's End onto the Warwick. Any more items being built up? Kog'Maw does have the Brawler's Gloves and also the daggers, so going to be probably going for Zeal very shortly. Maybe Phantom Dancer is going to be one of his first items that he does elect to pick up here. Landing a nice ultimate on top of Genja, not doing a great deal of damage though. And this is one of the great things about taking Chalice of Harmony so early, that Ashe really hasn't had to recall so much going back, and I mean she has 1,770 gold. So that's really why Chalice of the Harmony was picked up. And she's now going to take the BF sword. Going to be doing a lot of damage, 3 health pots as well. More action at top lane between Shushay and Darian. Just being exchanged tit for tat, blow for blow. Shushay underneath that tower is going to feel fairly safe. I don't think Jax is ever going to try that tower dive at this stage of the game. He's now coming down towards Wraiths. Karthus is laying in wait. Is he going to go for this kill? He doesn't have any support. Here comes a confrontation. Darian against Peke. Here comes the ultimate ult from Nocturne again, just teleporting in out of nowhere. Unspeakable Horror has been popped up underneath that tower. Nice, well, I was going to say a nice kick from Downprox, but actually kicked Karthus away. So not too sure, maybe trying to save himself, realizing that the battle was lost. Very, very close start binding from Morgana. He is going to pop off the soul shackles now. I think he knew he was going to die, but just wanted to make sure that Karthus went down with it. Here comes the Requiem from Karthus. Will he pick up the kill onto Lee Sin? It's going to be so close. It does, and he gets the double kill there. Beforehand taking down Morgana and also weakening bot lane as Ashe and Nunu are going to try and go onto Kog'Maw. Ultimate being popped. Absolute Zero is going to explode, but nice flashes from both Kog'Maw and Soraka, just to make sure that Absolute Zero did not crush them. But a nice exchange overall there for Fnatic, you have to say. 6-2 ahead now. Questionable engage from Lee Sin jumping in. I know he's trying to help his teammate out, but actually ended up getting them both killed. And Morgana, I think Alex pretty much realizing that he was going to die, but he wanted to make sure that Karthus went with him. Look at Karthus' score, 5-1-0, 132 creep score, identical to Morgana, who also has 132, but of course those kills are going to make all the difference. Karthus, 5,000, nearly 800 gold, so Morgana's 5,000. That Rod of Ages is up, and he also has a blasting one as well. Has 130 gold remaining. We have seen Peke take Rabadon's Death Cap and Rod of Ages every single game so far, so no reason to think that he's going to do anything differently this time. Oh, nice cold glass of water. Can't beat it. Either way, we are going to have Wriggle's Lantern finished off onto Nocturne, and also Wriggle's Lantern onto Lee Sin as well. So very similar build to these two junglers. Nocturne has finished off his Mercury Treads, and Lee Sin opting to pick up a Doran's Blade instead, so he still has the Boots of Speed, the standard boots there. Harassment and poke from these two bottom AD carries, and Kog'Maw definitely coming out on top, just purely down to the basis that he has Soraka backing him up. If Ashe takes a few blows, Nunu can't do anything to keep her sustained, whereas of course Soraka can just spam those heals. She has the first, of course, which is Astral Blessing, and then she also has Wish. You can just spam them. And here comes Jax once again at top lane. Darian really trying to push the envelope, but this time Shushay is a much more difficult opponent. On Yorick, Darian could really boss that lane. He could spam his ghouls, really push Warwick back, capitalize on the creep difference. This time, Shushay can stand up a tiny bit more. Let's have a look at the creep score though. Warwick 96, Jax 110. Still a difference, but last time Darian was pretty much doubling Shushay's farm in the early to mid stages of the laning phase. Blue's going to be given to Morgana from Lee Sin, as you'd expect at this kind of stage of the game. And likewise, you're going to have Karthus recalling at the same time, picking up the amplifying tome. I'd expect his next item is going to be the needlessly large rod. But he's got a long way to go before he can pick that one up. Only has 70 gold. You're going to have Jax with 1,600 gold. He only has 3 Doran's Blades and the Mercury Treads. Maybe one of the reasons why Warwick can kind of push him back a tiny bit more, because Warwick does have better items overall. We are going to have an engage here. The Infinite Duress has been popped onto Jax. The Requiem also coming in. He is going to go down. No doubts about it whatsoever. XPK is doing so much damage. Here comes the engage also onto Alex. Can he actually survive this one? Soul Shackles has been popped off, but it's nowhere near enough damage, and didn't get a chance to blow up there. So Karthus going to move on to 7-for-1, and Peke is looking so strong right now. And Karthus is the kind of player you simply do not want to get fed, especially if it's the likes of Peke from Fnatic. They're going to try to pick up this dragon. And this is the prime time to do it. Jax is down. Morgana also down for 12 seconds. They had no way of combating against that one, did Moscow 5. So smart play from Fnatic. I think a lot of people going into this game, you know, Fnatic are one of those teams that everybody knows. Obviously Fnatic, a huge gaming organization around the world, known in a lot of different games, but also these guys have got a lot of love. But I don't think many people thought they'd actually win against Moscow 5. I saw some comments going into the Reddit and such where people were really saying Moscow 5 are going to 2-0 this one comfortably. It's been anything but one way, guys. This has been awesome stuff throughout the game. You can't count Moscow 5 out though. They can still come back from this. They can bounce back with a vengeance and take this game. But the opening stages have definitely gone the way of Fnatic. They are going to have the foundations. It's whether they're going to build upon them or not. That's going to be seen soon. Here comes Genja. Are they going to initiate onto Kog'Maw? Answer is a no. Ice Ball was released from Nunu as well. Here comes Lee Sin. Is Diamond going to try and get a gank off? There is a ward in that tri-burst, so Melisande and Lamia both going to pull back. Ashe scores a goal, fires the arrow right between Melisande and Lamia. Could not have placed that any better. But unfortunately, we're not playing football, we're playing League of Legends. That was a definite miss. So Lamia and Melisande are just going to stay in the lane. Lee Sin seems disgusted and he's just going to run off. And that's going to allow Xuche to push his way down. There is a ward in that bush though, so they know exactly what's on its guard. The Arctic Wolf is going to be spotted. And Gosu and Genja are not going to bother to push forward any further. They know that Infinite Duress is a definite kill if it lands on them. Here comes Nocturne's ultimate at the top lane, going to be going on to Jax here. Can he finish off the kill? Jax putting up a lot of fight, but here's the Requiem again. It's not going to pop off into Jax, but have a quick look at bot lane as Gosu Pepper is under such heavy attack. Xuche's jumped on in. So as I switch to the top lane, we had an engage on bot as well. Again, Karth is so good globally. He weakens everybody when he fires this stuff off. Nice flash from Soraka, but Morgana is going to follow suit as well. Soul Shackles has been popped off. Karthus takes the mid tower, but Soraka is going to fall. No doubts about it whatsoever. The auto attack doing enough to finish that one off nicely. And Ashe just making sure that Morgana was safe, firing off the hawk shot there. And did catch himself Peke with full HP and mana with the blue buff. You do not want to be going head to head when he has the large rod. When he has combined 272 ability power. He's on 7 for 1, nearly 200 creep score. Morgana has been standing toe to toe with him in that regard, also around 200. Some more items are being built up around the game here. As you'd expect, again, both of these APs are buying the exact same items in the exact same order. So Morgana for the 3rd game in a row. Alex is going to pick up the Sork shoes and the Abyssal Scepter with Doran's rings and the large rod as well, so he's going to be dangerous. And you're also going to have Karthus with that large rod, as I said before. So very similar builds throughout these games for these two AP carries in mid. Xuche onto Darien. That tower is down though, so Darien doesn't have the luxury of pulling back to the Sanctuary. He's going to have to go a long way if he gets ganked, if he gets caught out here. Speaking of getting caught out, Peke could find himself in all kinds of trouble. He is going to revert back to his original position in the mid lane now. He's not going to be going up towards Jax. Darien is all by his lonesome. He has 4 players, and that's going to signify him retreating. We are going to have an engage here from Nocturne. The Black Shield has been popped from Morgana, and the Dark Binding will land on top of, I think that was Karthus or perhaps Nocturne behind him. In the meantime though, Jax is going to go into very low health underneath the tower. Can Warwick finish this one off? The answer is a no. Beautiful Dark Binding coming in there from Morgana, and suddenly Xuche's in all kinds of trouble. He should be going down. The health has been... Oh, I was going to say the health has been replenished from Soraka, but it doesn't make any difference whatsoever as he has still gone down. Requiem will come in afterwards. Is he going to pick up any kills? The answer is a no, but look at Jax's health. Jax on absolutely nothing. He was on about 70 HP once that Requiem had came and gone. And he is actually going to, instead of going back, he's just like, yeah, I've got 70 HP, who cares? I'm just going to push the tower. That's how I roll. I'm Darien. I'm Darien on Jax. I'm a beast. Whereas Genja's going to recall on full health. It just goes to show the mentality of these Russians. They're crazy. Well, Paranoia's up from Nocturne, so this could actually turn out pretty bad for Darien. He has pulled back in the bush after taking a hit from the tower, but can Cyanide catch up? Is he going to fire the Dustbringer? Is this going to land? No, it's not. He puts the ward down. So tense there. Cyanide must be facepalming. It was so unfortunate. The timing was just not on his side. A second and a half sooner, and that would have been Darien dead. Absolutely no doubts about it. But that is League of Legends in a nutshell. We all have Wall of Pain being popped off from Karthus and the Paranoia as well. Genja will be getting absolutely decimated there from Karthus and Nocturne. Karthus picks it up. He's a bit greedy today. His Peke, 8th kill in 24 minutes. And this could signify a Baron. AD carry is down. Jax is at bot lane. Worst case scenario right now for Fnatic is 3 players coming towards him. That's going to be the case. Morgana, Lee Sin, and Nunu. Lee Sin firing off the Q there into the bush. It's going to give him some visibility onto Karthus. But you are still going to have this Baron dance between the two teams where, you know, Moscow 5 don't know if they've started. Fnatic don't know if Moscow 5 are going to push them. Well, Baron has actually been started. Will Moscow 5 start to push on towards this or not? Is it a bait? As the wall of pain comes down once again from Karthus. Lee Sin has no HP. Sorely, he should be going down. Now he's flashed over. There's the infinite dress from Warwick. He's going to be falling any second now. Tries to safeguard back onto Morgana. But it's not going to be enough. Nunu, in the meantime, is going to try and really harass some of those Fnatic players. But now, Moscow 5 maybe going to push back on in once again. Warwick is on low HP. Karthus is going to pop off the Requiem. Nunu's going to be going down. No doubts about this whatsoever. He does go down. Lots of damage onto Ashe and also Morgana. But Karthus can't really do anything else. He's spent his mana. He has no mana. He has low health as well. He's going to have to recall back to spawn. Cyanide and Melisande are going to join him. Although Cyanide looks now to be changing his mind and going back into his jungle. Rabadon's Death Cut has been finished off from Karthus. Giant's Belt as well. Interesting build from Karthus. Maybe the Giant's Belt is going to go into Riley's Crystal Scepter. I'm not entirely sure. He just wants to make himself as tanky and as durable as physically possible. Wants to be in those team fights for as long as he can. In the meantime, Moscow 5 are going to apply in the only way they know how to, and that is sheer aggression. Going to be taking down this dragon. Soraka is now going to come down to find out the breaking news that Dragon has been slain. And she is going to report back to her team. Of course, they're now going to have a fairly accurate timer on when Dragon should be respawning again. Trinity Force has been finished from Jax. Infinity Edge onto Ashe as well. And you are going to see not too much added to Morgana other than Azonia's Hourglass. But of course, that is such a good item with her. Can allow her to push in aggressively, use the Soul Shackles, pop off the Zoni's Hourglass when she feels vulnerable, and keep on going afterwards. Phage finished onto Nocturne, and an Aegis of the Legion. Frozen Heart for Warwick, so he's going to be very tanky right now. And Soraka has the Kindle Gem and the Philo Stone, so perhaps the Shirai's Reverie is just around the corner here for Fnatic. Added to that, perhaps a kill is just around the corner for Jax. Maybe not. Maybe he's going to be recipient of a kill. Maybe he's going to go down here, but he will be pushing back to his own team. And again, we have this slow Baron dance where most teams don't really want to give anything away. A kill here is absolutely devastating for your team. Here comes Jax, taking point, going to jump in. Looks to pull himself back straight away. Perhaps the goal that Moscow 5 set for themselves there wasn't to kill, but simply to stop that Baron from going down. In that sense, it was a victory. Will they actually maybe go for a sneaky Baron themselves? I've seen Moscow 5 do this kind of play where they'll try and catch a team off guard. When they least expect the Baron, they'll just go for it, balls to the wall. But no, Fnatic are actually going to go back in again onto Baron. Wall of Pain used. Oh, Karthus needs to be careful. If that Dark Binding had have landed, that could have spelt curtains for Fnatic, but Moscow 5 are going to pull back. The sheer poke that Fnatic have right now is insane. Cogmore's ultimate, and of course the Karthus on top of that. Really, really painful. You can't get hit by that too many times without feeling the effects. Baron is going to be started 3 times in as many minutes. Will this time, are we going to see it completed? Dark Binding has been landed onto Karthus, but no one is there to follow it up. This is really tense, guys. Really, really tense. I mean, you can just see in the way these two teams are playing. No one is going out all aggression, but having said that, here comes the Ash Arrow and the Soul Shackles. Well, Karthus is going to go down in an instant. He can still play a point in this game, of course, because he can spam away those spells while he's dead. Double kill coming in there. Warwick's going to get a triple kill. In fact, Jax is going to get the triple kill, and Soraka picks up a kill there onto Jax. So triple has been taken out of the equation. Here comes Alex Ich. Can he manage to survive against Nocturne and Warwick? I don't think his chances are good, and that's going to be the ace for Fnatic. 5 for 3 exchange with a Jax triple kill. Darian, for good measure, picking up all 3 kills on the Fnatic side, but he got silenced from Soraka. And that should be a comfortable Baron from Nocturne and Warwick as well. And that's the thing, I said this in amongst that team fight there, they got Karthus down quick. The downside of that, of course, though, is that even when Karthus is dead, he can still spam those abilities. He can still use his ultimate, he can still be a pain in the backside. That's exactly what we saw. He put off a few layways, got the Wall of Pain down, Requiem right at the end, and that's what clinched the deal for Fnatic there. So, awesome play from Peke, and you have to say that Moscow 5 are definitely looking second best in this third game. It's looking more and more likely that Riley's Crystal Scepter is going to be built onto Karthus. He has the Amplifying Tome, the Blasting Wand, and the Giant's Belt as well. All he needs is 700 gold on top of that, and he currently has 400. So he's only about 290 away from that Riley's Crystal Scepter if he so chooses to pick that one up. Kog'Maw's going to get the Infinity Edge and the Phantom Dancer. Nocturne hasn't actually died yet this game. He's the only player to have been invulnerable, infallible so far. So, Trinity Force and a Giant's Belt for Jax. He's had a Trinity Force for quite some time. He does have the Giant's Belt and the Ruby Crystal, so there's a few different ways that he can go with them too. You have the Shariah's Reverie, as I was saying before, taken up from Soraka with this Baron buff. It's going to be down to how well Moscow 5 can defend this onslaught. Can they stop this? Ash Arrow has been popped in. They're going to engage here. Is this the last stand? They engage, then very quickly disengage. Kind of smart from Moscow 5. A lot of teams would have gone pretty much all in that respect, and that would have been a mistake. So Moscow 5 doing enough just to push back Fnatic from the tower, but I have to feel maybe it's not enough, because a lot of ultimates were popped there. A lot of abilities, I should say, with Ash's ultimate. Here comes Jax once again, going to be jumping in with the Counter-Strike. It's just going to be down to who makes that slip up, who makes that mistake. Slight positioning. All the inches, all the centimeters make all the difference in League of Legends, especially when you get down to the nitty-gritty stages like this. Kog'Maw's going to continue to just poke away with his ultimate. It's really horrible to play against in this kind of situation because Moscow 5 have to stay stuck on that tower. And now comes Kog'Maw's W, giving him range and enough speed to take down that tower. Inhib is going to follow very, very quickly. So Moscow 5 have lost the first Inhib in this matchup. Fnatic now going to be pushing back to that tower, going to try and starve, pushing back to the jungle I should say, trying to starve all of that jungle farm for Moscow 5. Not going to let them get back into this game anytime soon. Now I'm going to go ahead and pick up that dragon as well. They have map control. They have goal control. They have tower control. They have every kind of control you'd be asking for right now. And Moscow 5 kind of need a miracle. And they need something special to happen. They need Fnatic to make a big blunder, to make a slip up here. Shushay is going to be pushing onto his red buff, and he's accompanied by Karthus. But he's not going to be taking the red buff just yet, perhaps going to give that one to Nocturne or Kog'Maw if he so desires. In fact, they're not even going to bother with red buff. In fact, they're going to try and pick up this slight jungle invade from Darian and Genji. They did manage to pick up the blue, so that's a small success for Moscow 5. But the keyword is small. Here comes Shushay. Darian is recalling that bush. They have no idea that's the case, and they're going to get into that tri bush not knowing anything different. Now they're pushing down towards this bot lane. Going to try and really push the envelope. Maybe get a second in here before Baron loses its usefulness. In fact, it's going to be gone in 10-15 seconds or so. So are they going to try and pick up this tower just before it runs out? Kog'Maw popping his W again. Less than 50% health on that tower, getting down to around a third, a quarter. Baron has just round as well, so if Moscow 5 want to start, now may be the time to do so. Did land a Dark Binding onto Warwick, but deciding not to bother following that one up. Nice Wall of Pain use from Karthus. This could be an engage coming out from
Fnatic, Unspeakable Horror, and the Infinite Duress just both used on Lee Sin. Here comes a Nocturne ulti as well. Jumps on in. Soul Shackles used from Alex. He's going to stun 2 players, but there's no damage to follow that one up. Absolute 0 from Gosu Pepper. Warwick's going to get dropped there. Ashe onto Nocturne, and perhaps they can pick up this 3rd kill onto Sraka. Nice wall of pain again. Here comes Requiem. How many kills did we get? It very nearly gets the kill onto Ashe, but not enough damage to seal the deal. And that is going to be a 3-for-3 exchange, but these can only benefit Fnatic. Moscow 5 need to win these team fights. Super Minions are pushing the Nexus towers. This bot tower is going to go down alongside Darian, and that could very well be the end of this game, ladies and gents. It may not finish for another 5 or so minutes, but I think it's by and large going to go into the hands of Fnatic. Moscow 5 are going to have to really pull out a huge play to take this game back into their own hands. Inhib number 2 is going to be going down, surely. Perhaps not, at least his maneuverability proving too good. Inhib on about half health. XPK, or Peke I should say, sorry, I'm so used to call him XPK, it's my bad, apologies. He is going to pull back onto golems. And Kog'Maw is going to pick up the wraiths as well, so the job was done, damage has been done here. As I said before, Moscow 5 can't really afford to just trade off 2-for-2, 3-for-3. They have to start winning these team fights outright. Because as far as maps control is concerned, they are well and truly behind. Those super minions are going to continue to push down mid. They did well to stop the 2nd inhibitor from going down as well. But these are minor victories in a war they're clearly not winning right now. 7-for-4 on turrets in favour of Fnatic. Karthus 10-2-7. Pings coming out on Baron, so clearly Baron is going to be a feature again in this matchup very soon. Riley's Crystal Scepter has been finished off from Karthus. He has also built a large rod on top of that, so Zhonya's Hourglass, definitely something he's eyeing up. 638 ability power for Peke right now. And if we compare that to Morgana, who has 337, not quite what you'd call even so far. Darian very, very tanky. He's going to get Infinite Duress in his face for his troubles, though. Has 4 players against him. He doesn't have any support apart from Morgana and Lee Sin. Ashe has fired an arrow, but it's missed absolutely everybody, and she's going to be going down from Karthus here. Nunu's going to try his best to salvage something for his AD carry. Gosu Pepper as support to the bitter end. And that's what it's going to have to be here. He's going to have to flash away just to save his own skin. Lee Sin, and amongst all this, is getting absolutely destroyed. Requiem used as well. Very nearly claiming the kill onto Lee Sin. But Kog'Maw will be picking up the pieces, and Nunu is all that remains. So again, Gosu Pepper has post-traumatic stress disorder after seeing his whole team murdered in front of his eyes. And he's all that stands between Moscow 5 and Fnatic. And Fnatic are just looking to take this one home right here, right now. 20-30 seconds remaining. That's going to be the GG, and Fnatic are going to claim the scalps of Moscow 5 in the Medion Challenge Cup. Who would have thought it, guys? Beautiful game from Fnatic. One of the best of threes I've seen in a very, very long time. And it was a real pleasure to cast, guys. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. So we will have the video on demands coming up. If you did miss the first or second game and you're wondering how it went, basically it's www.youtube.com/chaos contingency or chaos TV. I'm sure you can find us that way. And they should be uploaded either later today or tomorrow or sometime this week. You can follow us on Facebook. It's facebook.com/chaos TV, or you can follow me. It's /Metis TV. And Bass, I think that's all. Is there anything else you'd like me to say? Oh yeah, if you head over to Esports Heaven, I'm sure someone will link it there in the bottom right for you. You can win yourself some nice goodies. I'm just bringing that one up again. Yeah, so if you vote for the man of the match after tonight's games, which obviously already happened, the MVP will win a bundle of gear as well as a selected random voter. So you could be in contention to win yourself some nice goodies there from Medion, including a mouse and some really good speakers. So if you go on over to ESH, Esports Media, and Esports Heaven Media, and you fill in that, guys, it should be in the chat somewhere to the right-hand side of the stream, then you can win yourself some nice goodies. I think that's going to be all for tonight, Bass. Anything else? Oh yeah, we're also gonna be back live tomorrow, guys, for more action for you. So definitely stay tuned. If you like League of Legends, you like the coverage that we've been bringing you tonight, then feel free to follow all the things I said before, and we will be updating you before we go live tomorrow. We have plenty more League of Legends action coming up this week for you guys. That's gonna be all for tonight. I've been Metis. You're watching Chaos TV, and have a very nice night, guys. See you tomorrow.